In 1932, the open plains of Western Australia became the stage for one of history's strangest campaigns. It was not a war between nations, but a confrontation between farmers, soldiers, and thousands of emus that had begun to move through the wheat fields like a restless invading force. For the veterans who had returned after World War I and settled on the land, the birds were more than a nuisance. They trampled fences, emptied water sources, and stripped the crops that meant survival. Each morning seemed to bring a new trail of damage, and each night the farmers spoke with growing frustration about the same impossible enemy. The government listened and chose a military response. Soldiers arrived with machine guns and a plan that sounded simple enough. The birds would be driven out or destroyed quickly, and the farms would be saved. The men expected a brief operation, one that would end before the week was over. The emus had other ideas. They did not charge in panic or hold their ground like ordinary targets. They split into smaller groups, moved with sudden bursts of speed, and vanished into the scrub before the guns could settle. When the firing began, they scattered in all directions, only to gather again farther away as if they understood the rhythm of their pursuers. In one ambush, the soldiers waited for a large flock to enter range. The moment came, the trigger was pulled, and then the weapon jammed after only a few shots. The flock broke apart and escaped with little loss. In another attempt, a gun was mounted on a truck, but the rough ground made the vehicle bounce and lurch, turning aim into guesswork. The birds simply ran harder, faster than the men expected, and the machine gun proved far less useful than its reputation suggested. Day after day, the pattern repeated. The soldiers advanced, the emus moved, and the landscape itself seemed to favor the birds. What had been described as an organized mission began to look like a contest in which the contestants were badly matched. The men had training and engines and steel, but they had no answer for speed, distance, and the animal instinct to survive. At last, the operation was abandoned. There were no dramatic victories to report, only frustration, embarrassment, and the quiet admission that the birds had outlasted the campaign. The event soon became famous as Australia's lost war against the emus, a story told with humor but remembered for its deeper lesson. Nature had not been conquered by force or by certainty. On the wide plains, the emus continued to roam, and the humans who tried to stop them were left to explain how a modern army had been outmaneuvered by flightless birds.